Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I've got Rue off to the side. Let's see if it autofocuses on him. He looks hungry and tired, and it is, well, between you and me, roosters don't know daylight savings time. So it is way past his bedtime here, and it means he's going to be up ridiculously rooster early in the morning until he gets used to the time zone difference. Um, for that reason, and more for the baby and for our sanity, frankly, we're going to be moving the show 30 minutes earlier. So starting next week, calling it our winter hours. We might go to an hour early, but starting next week, we are going to half an hour earlier. So if you're watching this at approximately 8:30, 8:40 Eastern time, it's going to be approximately 8:10 Eastern time. If you're watching this at approximately 5:30, 5:40 Pacific time, it's going to be approximately half an hour sooner, 5:10. And same thing goes off around the globe, because I know there are people here from Australia, there are people here from the UK, there are people here from everywhere. How does it get any better than this? All right. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about here this evening in kind of a new format. We're doing more of a half an hour talk, 15 minutes, half an hour, 35-minute talk, 15-minute Q&A, and then a shorter meditation. We do have a meditation channel now, so you're going to want to be sure to check that out. But it's an hour format for the winter as well. And I and Ann are running things behind the scene. How does it get any better than this? Love you guys so much. I and Ann, thank you for running everything. Last but not least, before we dive into things, we have an automatic writing class this Thursday, which I'll keep telling you about throughout the show. Very proud, very excited about it. These are crazy uncertain times, and being able to plug in and communicate with spirit, I would almost say, is essential right now more than ever. And so your fastest, easiest way to learn how to communicate with the other side and hear back from the other side is automatic writing. And we have a class coming up this Thursday on it. And I have a link or a coupon code just for you. It's Miraku. That's our daughter on the other side of the veil. MARACAKU, Miraku 50. If you want to save $50 on our automatic writing program coming up this Thursday. How does it get any better than this? All right. Let's talk about certainty in uncertain times, because that's really what we're going through, isn't it? It is crazy out there. It is crazy on the web. It is crazy everywhere you go. And it is very easy not to be affected by this energy. And if I know anything about you, my audience, you're energetically sensitive, like me, like Pookie, like Rue, and like baby Hannah. And so we're going to talk about that tonight, because there's energy swirling all around us. How do we get grounded? How do we find stability and certainty during these times? All right. With that said, I love to share story. I'm a storyteller. And in the old days, it used to be that we learned around the campfire with our elders, from them teaching us or telling us story, rather than giving us a list of how we should learn. All right. It has a positive outcome. Let me just start with that. Spoiler alert. Positive outcome. Many of you know we have a baby. Of course, we have a baby. We have baby Hannah. And many of you know that she was a twin, and her twin sister was Miraku. And many of you know that on December 22nd of December 22nd, 2021, we were given a choice of lose one baby or potentially lose both babies. A very, very challenging day for us, to say the least. Miraculously, we were able to keep baby Hannah. She is a survivor. Her heart had to pump for 2 at the time. And so when she was born, we were told that she would need a heart operation in order for a valve to work properly. And there was no getting around it. And we did a whole bunch of healing work on the other side, on this side. But yes, she did need heart surgery just after birth. Well, since that time, we had a checkup at a month in and they said she may need heart surgery again. We had a checkup again at 2 months and they said she's trending toward heart surgery. We had a checkup at 3 months and they said, actually, things are stabilizing. It looks like she'll need heart surgery in the future, but we can't say when. We had a checkup at, I believe it was 5 months, and they said same thing, stable. And I may be getting this timeline a little bit off because my numbers aren't quite adding up. But we went in for another heart exam this past Wednesday. And if you want to talk about stability in uncertain times, I don't care how spiritual you are. I don't care how much of a teacher you are, of anything you are. When you go into the doc to find out if your baby will need heart surgery, that's what we call needing certainty in uncertain times, because that is when the primordial daddy in you really kicks into gear. I mean, it really kicks into gear. You want to talk about fight or flight, and maybe you've been there with your own children if you have children. Protecting your youngsters is what it's all about, and it is what every bit of body chemistry is trained to do, and what every bit of the lizard part of your brain, what they call the brainstem, the fight or flight or freeze response, is designed to do. You don't become smart when it comes to taking care of your young ones. You become grr. That's how it goes down. Or you go into a state of panic if you're not careful, which is actually kind of the universal energy that we're all facing at this time. So I did a lot of work going into automatic writing to be grounded and be stable and be centered for our visit. And frankly, we want to move away from this area, away. We want to move back to the mountains, and we can't do that as well without a green light that baby Hannah won't need surgery. So we go in for this visit with baby Hannah to the cardiologist, and baby Hannah knows what it is, and she's pretty upset because she's been poked and prodded, and she spent the first couple weeks of her life in an intensive care unit, let alone heart surgery. So she knows what's going on in these places, and it's not exactly fun. And she's more or less beside herself. We go in for her, they use an ultrasound on her heart to see what's going on with each of her valves. Basically, her heart got too strong pumping for two, and one of the valves didn't open or close properly. Again, thankfully, I had automatic writing to fall back on, because we got in there, and first off, we have crying, we have wailing, we have regurgitation, we have just a mess on our hands. I had that communication with spirit to fall back on. That's why I want to teach it to you so badly. And then they started the ultrasound, and I could see on the TV monitors, it's supposed to be blue colored, the blood flow. And instead, we're getting reds and yellows and oranges and whites and golds, all of these colors that represent things are not quite normal. It would have been really easy to panic during that time. And something I teach in my School of Mystics is I've been teaching all of these different practices. Actually, last week I taught a practice to be able to go up above the situation. Rue likes that, and look down from a magic carpet on the situation so you're not stuck in it, which is incredibly helpful. I also called in the elders, and my grandmother Kramer, to be particular, called in that assistance. Really, ultimately, and I'll get to what happened there. At the end of the day, the more that we learn how to live in a spirit-driven way, the more that we learn how to communicate with spirit 24/7, the more we are set up to be able to handle whatever comes our way. It doesn't mean we're not going to face an oh no, oh no, oh no situation. Oh no's happen, and that stuff will still continue to happen, but we very quickly can boomerang back to, I'm going to steal a term from, I think it was Dr. Rick Hansen. He talks about the default mode network of the brain, the fight or flight mechanism of the brain. Our default mode is, oh no, and crap's going to go down. And if you think about it, for millions of years, the oh no, crap's going to go down helped keep us alive and keep our kids alive and keep our kids alive and keep our kids alive. In today's world, where fight or flight mechanism no longer serves us as well, the oh no, oh no, oh no can get us in a lot of trouble. What we need is a new default mode mechanism, a new level of being. So you're an empath, you're energetically sensitive. What if we use that sensitivity to help you recognize where you're at energetically so you can then leap to a higher state of beingness? Don't think you're an empath or too sensitive as a mistake, or too sensitive that you don't fit in. Or as I thought as a kid, too sensitive meant I was broken. I didn't get something that everybody else did. It's bullshit. Too sensitive means you can plug into your own energy. Certainly you can recognize other people's energy and learn how to shift stage right, but you can plug into your own energy and say, what do I need at this time to help me get to a different level? One of the things that helps us the most is being plugged in, being connected to spirit 24/7. Again, why I'm teaching our automatic writing course. So for myself, plugging in before we went to the cardiologist was essential, more necessary than perhaps anything else. Why? Well, I'm looking on the monitor and it looks like fireworks or pyrotechnics going off. And it would have been easy to, well, that 70s song, freak out. Dun, 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 dun. If I freak out, baby freaks out. Guess what happens if baby freaks out? The numbers go even higher, and they may say she needs surgery even if she does not. Seriously. Freak out while she's there on the heart monitor would not have been good. However, the more time that you spend plugged into spirit, communicating with spirit, in communion with spirit, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go, oh no, my default mode from my parents, my parents' parents, and my parents' parents, 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 and parents is, oh no. But I come back very quickly to, oh wait. And I start to look from a higher level and understand that there's more going on than meets the eye. This is so key to understand. If you take nothing away tonight, other than the fact that please do come learn automatic writing, where you put your pen to paper and spirit says, hi, Michael, how are you today? Boy, do we have a lot to share with you. And you go, whoa. But if you get one more thing besides learn automatic writing, it's that there's more going on than meets the eye. Nothing is as it appears to be. Nothing, 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 nothing. At the level of the fear-based mind, this lizard brain stem here, this brain which is great for helping us to cross the road, at this level, everything right now seems like it's going wrong. Everything seems crazy. You can't walk out your door, look right, look left without thinking something's gone mad. You can't turn on, well, it used to be your radio, your podcast, your YouTube, your social media, heaven forbid your Twitter, and not think that the world has gone mad. But let there be light. There is more going on than meets the eye. There is the level of the mind, what I'm going to call the little mind, where everything seems completely nuts. But at the level of spirit, the world is calm. Here's how I like to think about it. Imagine the world's largest hurricane, which these days is pretty easy to imagine. It affects the top, I don't know, 30, 50, maybe 100 feet of water in the ocean. Okay, maybe even a few 100 feet of water. The ocean is miles deep in many places. The hurricane doesn't touch that water at all. Deep underwater, deep within us, there is a calmness, there is a stillness that nothing going on out here can touch. Why do I want to teach you automatic writing? Because you plug into that stillness and you hear from spirit below, above, within, from the depths of the universe, rather than the thinking-based mind, which is operating at the level of chatter on the surface of what's going on and what's going on with the waves and with the wind and with the... Plugging into this stillness is the calm anchor you need when you feel lost and spun. Now, I know you're an empath. You may not even call yourself that, but an empath is someone who's energetically sensitive. You wouldn't be listening to me if you're not energetically sensitive, because between you and me, I play with a lot of energy. That's my shtick, my game, my something. I don't know. I don't know how to not play with energy. That's what I do, is I play with energy. And I help bring people's energy up, people who can recognize that energy. And that's you. So, as someone who's energetically sensitive, it is more important for you than anyone else around you to be grounded during this time. Now, you're a wayfarer, you're a light carrier, you're someone who's going to help raise up all of humanity just by being you. However, you are sensitive in a way that if you don't get grounded, it is easier for you to get spun. What does this mean? It means, as an empath, as somebody energetically sensitive, you feel the energy of others, you feel the of everyone else, you feel the energy of politics, you feel the energy of Twitter, you feel the energy of the planet. Chances are, if you're like me, you love, if you haven't had emotional scarring from it, you love the big holidays. Why? The whole world has gone quiet. Now, I'm talking here about holidays like Christmas, like New Year's Day, and I guess without all the shopping, maybe Easter, not the 4th of July, but holidays where people sleep in the morning. You finally get a chance to rest. When I talk about certainty in uncertain times, I'm talking about giving you a chance to rest, a chance to plug back in, a chance to connect with the real world, which is not this desk here, which is not even this mic here. The real world is not this construct here, but is something far, far deeper. Yeah, Lumi, I'm not sure if you can hear him crying out there. That's one of my kitties crying. That's Lumi. Maybe he's saying, "Tell it like it is, Daddy." We met him, rescued him, or he rescued us at a meditation center on Maui. All right, let's go back to story, shall we? I woke up this morning. Good, healthy Monday morning. Actually, I went to bed last night, and I got to bed for the first time in babyhood. I got to bed early. How does it get any better than this? After being up late for an interview where I was still going at like 11:19 in the evening the night before. Whoo. So Sunday night, I'm so happy, so in love with being able to go to bed early. And I feel great. I feel wonderful. I feel on top of the world. Woohoo! I wake up Monday morning. Yeah, that'd be this morning. And guess how I felt? Any guess? Great night's sleep. Look at my watch. Most sleep I've gotten, just a little over 7 hours. I was in bed 10, 11 hours, but you got baby feedings, baby burpings, baby crying, feedings, burpings, crying, feeding, birdie. Yeah, not a complaint. But I got over 7 hours of sleep. Woohoo! So how did I feel this morning? Yeah, I felt like crap. I felt like everything's wrong, or I've done something wrong, or something's gone terribly wrong. Thank you, Heen, for your kind donation. I think you were the first one to donate last week as well. How does it get any better than this? Thank you so much, Heen, and sending so much love your way. I woke up this morning feeling like everything is wrong. Why do I have a note here? Hannah, Jessica, Michael, Aya, Rue. Oh, from Hannah, I guess, from Heen. I guess that's the note. Thank you, Heen. Thank you, Heen. Thank you, Heen. Thank you, Heen. Why is it so many of us go to sleep on Sunday night and the world is okay, and we wake up Monday morning and everything feels like complete and total, technical term, crapola? And you probably know what I'm talking about. You wake up Monday morning and you could give me a list of reasons, but even if you don't have a list of reasons, you feel like, technical term, crapola. Why? And I used to have my dream team meetings on Monday mornings. Sometimes the energy was a little bit nuts. I can attest to this. Why? Because we've plugged into everyone else's energy. We've plugged into the field. We wake up Monday morning. Nothing may be wrong with us. Nothing may be wrong with our lives. Not that there is anything wrong. That's a whole misnomer, but that's a story for another day. But we wake up plugged in, jacked in to everyone else's worries, fears, and concerns. You know what I'm talking about. Why do you think there are so many heart attacks and deaths Monday mornings? It's not just our fears, it's that we're all plugged in together, and that can be quite overwhelming for people. So, what do? Well, we can get up, we can be jittery, we can get coffee, we can singe our hair on fire. What does that smell? My hair is burning. Or we can plug into something deeper. Plug into something, please. I implore, I beg of you, plug into something deeper. That's what I do, although admittedly, with a baby, it's hard. I've got to either get up super early or take care of baby Hannah's needs and then jump back into my connection with spirit. But right now, more than ever, we need to connect with spirit. I don't care if you call it universe, God, source, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, Mother Mary, Jesus, whomever, whatever. Giant cheeseburger in the sky, great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It doesn't matter what you call this energy. But we get to plug into the depth below the surface so that we don't feel spun. So let's talk about time briefly, shall we? And it's kind of a cool thing. If any of you have a time machine, I'd like to know about it, because it feels like every single one of us, we wish we could go back in time. We wish we could slow down time. We could switch switch the speed of time right now, because it feels like everything's moving faster and faster and faster. Whew, I'm sorry. It feels that way. And guess what? There's a quickening. So you hear one news story, then the next news story, and then the next news story, and then this environmental tragedy, or this climate tragedy, that climate tragedy, that climate tragedy. It feels like the world's events are moving faster and faster because they are. Not because it's a perception, not because we have social media, not because if it bleeds, it leads. The reporters know that they make money based on the most horrific stories they can come up with, which for the most part they do. But that's not what's going on. For an empath, this time period can lead you to feel total gloom and doom is headed our way. Go surf the web. What do they call it? Doom scrolling. It is very easy to doom scroll your way into a not just a frenzy, into a surrender, a giving up that is not the spiritual surrender of, God, source, universe, lead me, but a surrender of, I'm just going to lay under the table in fetal position for a while. However, that energy and that feeling of gloom and doom misses the big point. What's the big picture point? We think everything's accelerating, everything's going wrong, everything's crashing, colliding into each other. It is. It is. So if everything is crashing and colliding into each other, how is this a good thing, Michael? Well, what it means is, and you'll have a hard time denying this, energy is moving faster, right? Energy is moving faster. Bing, 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 bing. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. It's moving faster. And at the same time, it means energy is more accessible. It's moving faster out there, but it's also moving faster. Can you hear that? That's the love sound of the rooster. That's his sound of love or hugs. As I'm saying, the energy is moving faster in here. He's making the sound of love. Thank you, Rue. Which means if you have the means, if you have the tools to scoop up energy, or really it means that if you have a radio or a cell phone that can tune into the right signals or energy waves of the universe, you're golden. The energy is moving faster and faster. The radio waves are moving all around us, whether we hear them or not. But with the right radio or the right cell phone of the universe and the right number on the dial, you can hear what's being said. Brenda is saying, much love to you all. Lots of love right back your way, Brenda. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Thank you, Brenda. Love received. Thank you for your kind, kind, kind words and donation. There are radio waves, signals from the universe, signals from your angels, signals from your guides that are stronger and easier to hear now than ever. That's what's missed in popular culture. That's what's missed by the media. That's what's missed by some in the spiritual circles, although many get it now. Yes, there's so much energy flowing around up here, but it's so much easier because the veil is getting thinner and thinner. It is so much easier to plug in here. What do I mean? The veil is getting thinner and thinner. More NDEs, more synchronicities, more unexplainable lights and UFOs and phenomenon, more awakening experiences, all of it. Maybe you've had an experience, the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities. The veil is getting thinner and thinner. And so to me, things like automatic writing, which again, I would love to teach you on Thursday. The veil is getting thinner. It's easier and easier to hear from the other side. Things like automatic writing have really come about because now can I use that term? Yeah, I'll use that term. The democratization of communicating with spirit, democratization of communicating with spirit. That's a tongue twister. It used to be you had to go through a priest, a rabbi, a shaman, a witch doctor, or whomever, a channel, a medium, somebody with a crystal ball, in order to hear from the other side. That's no longer necessary. You can communicate with automatic writing. You can communicate with other techniques. Automatic writing is the one I use and believe is the easiest. But you can communicate with all of these other tools and you can hardwire in. I teach automatic writing so that you won't need automatic writing anymore. What do you mean? Well, you start with a pen and paper. You start by clickety-clacketing your keys on the keyboard, and then you start to hear spirit more and identify with spirit more and hear spirit more and identify with spirit more. And identify with spirit means to be able to tell what's your voice and the voice of spirit. And then over time, you're literally walking down the street. Looks a little funny, having a communication with spirit. That's the veil getting thinner. That's these words being more accessible to you. That is a massive, baby might be sleeping, woohoo moment. This is a time period more than any other time period in the known, I'll call it the known history of humanity. There are a lot of histories of humanity we don't know about and a lot of iterations, but in the known history of humanity, this is the time period where we can communicate individually with spirit the most and hear more clearly than ever. You can have a two-way conversation. This is so important because no matter what medium or channel you go to, they're still going through their own filter. I went to a medium or channel a few weeks ago, and for kicks, she said, ask one question, whatever that question is. And Jessica and I are looking at moving to New England to be in the mountains. There's an off chance we could go out west, although it doesn't seem as likely at this point. My heart is still calling for the Rockies, of course. And we had left California last year, of which there's so many reasons it didn't kind of work for us. An amazing place. Didn't kind of work for us at that time. And we've got family in Florida, and that doesn't kind of resonate with us at this point. And we went to the medium, and the medium says, I see in your future 2 places that you want to move to more than any other place in the world. And you have to be courageous, and you have to go to these places. And these places are California and Florida. Okay. Doesn't mean that anything's wrong with what she said. It means she was going through her own channel, her own filter. You don't need to go through anyone's channel or filter anymore. You're an empath. You're energetically sensitive. It's just learning how to tune the dial. What would it be? Spirit. SPRT. It's a long name. KSPRT. All spirit, all the time. That's what we get to plug into. But it's more accessible now than ever. Not only is it easier to hear from spirit, but there's story after story after story after story of being able to hear from loved ones on the other side of the veil. When we lost Miracle, she started coming in clear and I don't even know, so amazingly crystal clear from the first time I went into automatic writing. She had shifted from being a daddy to a daddy. Like she became an elder the minute I heard from her in automatic writing, but she came through so clearly. In fact, shameless plug, automatic writing. If you join me Thursday because of this, you can use the coupon code. I'll put it down there, Miracle50, save $50 and learn how to communicate with your loved ones on the other side of the veil. It's ridiculously easy, but more than that, as someone who's energetically sensitive, not only can we plug in easier at this time, and I encourage or implore you, you have no idea what your gifts are. You have no idea what you're capable of. Everybody can plug into spirit. Everybody. That's this democratization. Maybe a better word, but those who are energetically sensitive. Wow, wow, wow. And that's you. But more on top, or on, how would you put that? Even more than it just being you. You need it during these times. The energy is way too much to begin going it alone. I have no idea how Jessica and I would make it, or have made it this far, if we weren't plugging into spirit all of the time. I think we would be completely fried. Completely fried. We're so plugged into everyone around us. You're so plugged in, maybe without even realizing it, to everyone around you, or maybe because of who you lived with. Oh my God, do you realize it? That we need to plug into deeper waters. So yes, we're calling it certainty in uncertain times, but really it's about finding a rock of stability in crazy times. That's what we're talking about. When you're not plugged in and tuned in, if Jessica and I weren't plugged in and tuned in, we would feel completely lost during this time. So first and foremost, I recommend automatic writing. Come join us Thursday, the fastest, easiest way to go quiet, put your pen to paper, and have the universe start talking to you, and you being able to communicate back and forth with the universe. First and foremost, automatic writing. If you can catch that, that's Rue preening right now, which means he's getting ready for bed. Can you hear him? Oh, now he's gone quiet. He makes this sound, which is really, really cute. First, automatic writing. Second, you need to dive into the ocean on a daily basis. Now, I'm a cold water swimmer. The water's getting really cold out there. That's not what I mean. Though if it floats your boat, go for it. What I mean is we get to find a way to dive into the stillness daily. Whether that's sitting on a chair, laying in bed, sitting outside, walking outside, or wherever. You get to find a way to dive into these waters because you're too energetically sensitive to go it alone. Plugging into the silence is not plugging into aloneness. It's bathing in deep waters where your elders, your ancestors, your angels, your guides, there are millions or billions of beings around you supporting you at any moment. And in the silence, you can feel them holding you up. In the silence, you can feel them giving you a back massage. In the silence, you can feel their wings around you, supporting you. Here's the interesting thing, and this may or may not be my last point before I open it up to questions. We're already running a little bit longer than I'd like, but this is so important for you. Never has it been a time period where it's been easier to communicate with spirit. Never has it been a time period where we are so bombarded with energy. Never has there been a time period where we want less than anything to communicate, not to communicate with spirit. If I ask you, hey, why don't you try meditating tomorrow morning? Here's what I'm probably going to get. Tomorrow morning, I'm kind of busy. I got this going on. I got that going on. I don't know. But this is a time period where we need meditation more than anything. And that term meditation implies work, where we need the stillness more than anything. And it's a time where we have such a kickback or blowback of the mind saying, I want it now the least. What? I don't want quiet time right now. It feels icky. It feels uncomfortable. If we're honest about ourselves, we may even say it feels scary to go into the silence. In other words, this is the whole Zen koan. What's a Zen koan? It's a deliberate paradox or conflict to get you to think. Like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? Sort of like if you walk through the forest, or was it if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, did it make a sound? A Zen koan, a powerful Zen koan is, if you don't have time to meditate, meditate twice as long. In this case, the energy is so overwhelming, we want to meditate half as long. We don't want to do it at all. It's interesting. When we are blenderized the most, when we are feeling the most spun, when we are feeling the whole world spinning around us, meditating or going quiet is the thing we want to do the least. The least. At the time we need it the most. At the time we need a deep breath the most. Is the time we're going to take the deep breath the least. Is the time where we're not going to think about it. And I don't have the ability to take a deep breath, and there's no way that I can. The time when you need it the most is the time when you're going to take it the least. Why? Because of that pesky ego I was talking with you about last week. And definitely check out the replay, check out the whatever of last week. Don't remember if it was last week or the week before we had technical difficulties, but check out that recording. No, it wasn't. It was 2 weeks ago we had technical difficulties. Check out that recording on all the great talk about the ego. The ego feeds on noise. The ego feeds on noise. It feeds on chaos. It gives it power like a general in the army. The ego feeds on war. What? The more chaos there is, the more the ego feels like it's in control. In times of peace, there's not much for a general to do. The general, maybe it's a he, chances are, but no, there are probably some female generals at this point. In probably other countries, there are more female generals. But it feels like at this time, a time of peace, a general has been emasculated, has no energy. I've got a gun. I've got troops. What do I do with them? That's in times of peace. And in times of war, there's all this energy, there's this chaos. And now the general can whip his troops into action. That's the egoic mind. In times of peace, there's not much it can do. And we don't really listen to it. Why do I have to listen to the worries and concerns about the ego? I got peace. Life is good. Sorry, ego. It's all good. However, in times of battle, in times of swirling energy, in times of uncertainty, now the ego has churned up into a frothing sea. Thank you, Carol Crossley, for your kind donation. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Calm waters, that's how it gets better. Calm ego, that's how it gets better. Carol, I love you. I send so much love your way. So, the ego loves this time period. It's dancing. I don't know if it's the Macarena. The ego is dancing freak out tenfold. And guess what? You know the ego's in charge. When you're afraid of one thing, you're concerned about one thing, and then it becomes another, and then it becomes another, and then it becomes another. We have a 6-month-old, which means we can be sleep deprived and be worried about, I don't know, burping or pooping or this thing or that thing. Real legit concerns. And then you start worrying about this other thing, and this other thing, and this next thing, and this next thing. And at some point you lose reality because that frothing ego has just churned up the ocean and it takes charge. During these times, we can't hear anything else. We can't think clearly. And sure as heck, the last thing in the world we want right now is to sit and meditate. I've done a lot of teaching of tapping. In fact, I taught a beautiful class on tapping at our last School of Mystics. Mary Fryer was there. Thank you so much, Mary. I love you. 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 How does it get any better than this, Mary? Mary knows. And she was part of this class with the School of Mystics last week. That I taught a process of tapping, which helps diffuse the nervous system, which helps you get in a quiet space, which helps kind of diffuse the bomb going on the inside of all this swirling energy. But when we need to diffuse the bomb the most, sort of like with tapping, is the time we want to do it the least. The ego wants to take charge. Heck, it's already got out its swords. It's already got out its troops. Mary, you're doing amazing by trying to just breathe and lean into it. That is what we all get to do. So I guess I got a few more points to share. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll probably keep the Q&A a little bit short here tonight. Come join us for automatic writing. I do a full Q&A there. And join us for our School of Mystics, where I've got a Q&A every Wednesday night, as well as I help people like you, empaths, shift their energy to a higher vibration so that you're living on both sides of the veil at the same time. The ego goes nuts. Do an ego dump. What in the world is an ego dump, Michael? Pull out a notepad. Now, I teach this in automatic writing as well, but you don't need automatic writing to do this piece. Pull out a notepad. And if you're brave enough, set an alarm, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. You don't want to go on forever. Set an alarm and then say, okay, ego, what do you want to share with me? And then let her rip. Let her be completely and totally honest with you. You suck. I don't like you. I hate that you do this, that, and the other thing. Why didn't you do this? You screwed up that, the other, blah, 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 blah. Get it all down. And blah, blah, blah means you hear it, but it ain't true. Get it all down. Let your ego have her or his say, and then shred those pages or burn them and be done with them. You'll feel lighter. The ego will begin to heal. That power of all of the energy swirling around us like an overinflated balloon will have been deflated. And the ego loses its grip. So do an ego dump as many days in a row as you need to this week to start deflating it. And then as the ego comes down to a normal level of insanity, now let's go and meditate. Let's sit and be still. Let's do a guided meditation. Let's listen to some calming music now that you've taken the winds out of the sail of the ego. Because when the ego has gone mad, it's frankly maddening. We can't sit still. We can't do tapping. We can't do anything because the ego is screaming so loudly. So do an ego dump and deflate the ego. Just make sure that you shred it and you burn it and let it go, because the egoic mind doesn't know the difference between the written word and the actual emotion or event. So get it down on page, because the ego needs to be heard, and then shred it or burn it and be done with it. Cindy B, thank you for your kind donation. How does it get any better than this, Cindy? How does it get any better than this? I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. And thank you, Cindy. Giant, 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 giant bear hug. So do an ego dump. Then take a few minutes, even just a few minutes right now, to dive into the stillness. It doesn't need to be that long. Heck, as a kid, I would go to Topsfield, Massachusetts. It's a beautiful river. I think it was the Ipswich River, which went through Topsfield. Surprising, it's not the Topsfield River, but the Ipswich River went through Topsfield. And there was a bridge. I didn't dive off of the bridge, but I swam under the bridge. And I would swim down, I don't know, 10, 12 feet. The water temperature would change. And I would get below the flowing river. And everything would go quiet. And there was this inky dark and stillness and a total sense of peace. And I would only go down there for as long as I could hold one breath. And then I could come up and be at peace, maybe for the rest of the day, maybe even for the whole week ahead. That's where I want you to play. So first, this week, come join me Thursday. Learn automatic writing. Be able to communicate with your angels, with your guides, with your loved ones. Communicate in the deepest waters. Hear from higher dimensional beings. I'm not kidding. Almost anyone or anything you want to communicate with, you'll be in communication, what I call communion. Two-way communication. Think Neil Donald Walsh conversations with God. You'll have that level of communication with the other side. And I know you've got it in you. Anyone can do it, but especially an empath. You can do this. So come learn it on Thursday. Put out your question to the universe and you'll get the answers you need. And then, because that grounds you more than anything else, and then do an ego dump this week. Start to get stuff out from your ego, which is completely freaked out during this time period, and feeds. Please take a fast from social media. I know everything's going on with, the Twitter and God only knows whom right now, but see if you can take a little bit of a fast as you're doing an ego dump so that you don't keep feeding the ego, but get a little bit of an ego dump in, and then take time to dive into the stillness each and every day. How? Well, you got two ways. One, set a time each day to do a little meditation, just a little one. Or you could have it as part of your automatic writing process. I'll teach you a whole process on Thursday, a whole routine, and you can put the diving into stillness as part of the routine. Make it super simple and don't have to even think about it. Or Make it a habit that's linked to something else. You come in the house, you put down your bags, you put down your groceries, you put down your whatever, and you sit for a minute. Or every time you go in a particular room in the house, you sit down, and you sit for a minute. Or every time you see a repeating digit on the clock, you sit for a minute. Or every time that you freak out, you sit for a minute. What does it mean to sit? Just be, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Maybe it's imagining yourself diving into the stillness, diving into deep waters, if that's not scary. Maybe diving into whatever works for you, diving into pink cotton candy. It doesn't matter. But take just a minute or two if you're freaking out each and every time. These are called keystone events. And what we're talking about linking them to are micro habits. Come up with the micro habits to your keystone events. If A, then B. Then you don't have to think about how I find uncertainty in uncertain times, how I find stability in unstable times. You know, every time A happens, I simply do B. And of course, if you're diving into automatic writing, you know, every single time you do so, you're going to find yourself in a greater sense of peace and better able to hear from the other side. And better able to hear from the other side at a time that it's needed most. And that's no coincidence. This is by design. At a time that we need to hear from spirit the most, it's the easiest to hear from spirit. Which is why the voices of the world get louder and louder and louder at this time to block you from consciously hearing from spirit, or the whole madness of the world would stop being mad. This is all coming to a head right now, kind of like if we want to look at real metaphysics and physics all at one. I see the Big Bang as being the end of a black hole. There was a black hole on the other side, and out came the universe on this side, which means there's an infinite number of universes and an infinite number of black holes, and on it goes. All of that energy was being compressed and then popped out or birthed out into something new. Sound like this time period? All of this energy is being compressed. It's denser and denser. It's more overwhelming. It's more overwhelming. It's faster and faster, all being compressed together to come out into something new. We have a choice as this is coming about. One, be those particles slamming and bouncing into each other, going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, and feeling completely lost and completely uncertain. Or we can use your energetic sensitivity as the empath that you are. We can do like the Zen koan and meditate twice as long. I don't mean you have to meditate twice as long, but we can use that sensitivity and say, well, I can communicate with the other side of the veil even easier at this time period. Learn automatic writing, dive into the silence, communicate with beings on the other side, angels, spirit guides, whomever, whatever, or simply your inner wisdom. Use your empathic skills as a super skill to help you ground. And as you ground, which means your energy comes up, you start to bring the energy up of all those around you, those you love, those who love who you love, those who love who you drive you insane, those that maybe you love a little bit less, and everybody else, because a rising tide raises all ships. You help raise everybody's ship up as you dive into automatic writing, as you begin to communicate with spirit, as you're taking this deep dive, your energy goes up and up and up and up and up, and you hear from spirit so much easier. So that if you find yourself in a baby cardiologist appointment, an oncologist appointment, an XYZ appointment, or whatever else it may be, you can still find grounding and certainty even in the most uncertain of experiences. So, last call. Do come join us this Thursday. Use code MIRAKU50, MIRAKU 50. Save $50. Please come join us and learn automatic writing. Be the wayfarer you are meant to be. if you already know automatic writing, and I know there are many of you here who are in our School of Mystics and who already know automatic writing, be the wayfarer that you know you can be. Do the automatic writing daily and dive into the stillness with all that you've got. The funny thing in the stillness, our natural state of being begins to come out, which is not a low-level vibration, which is not a mid-level vibration, but is a vibration so flipping, freaking high. It's unstoppable and it's untouchable. And the more that you take in the silence, the more your energy and your vibration goes up and up and up. All right. With that said, let's open it up to questions. I believe what I'm going to have you do is go to our meditation channel to catch our latest meditation. I'll see if I can do a meditation again next week. I definitely have to keep things on the earlier side with baby Hannah at this point. Priority, priority, priority. But I know I want to get into some questions here from people. All right. So let's see what we've got. Question from Phaedra Whitney. Hi, Michael. Can you discuss how we can use this energy to heal cancer? My dear friend and I are both battling 2 types of cancer, and your guidance on how we can use our own energy to heal ourselves. And in addition to our meds, we need this peace of mind. We can do this. Phaedra, all my love goes out to you. All my love, all my love, all my love. There are so many incredible ways to see. I don't want to, I'm going to change. I've got to be quick about this looking at the time, but I don't want you, Phaedra, battling cancer. Battling cancer stirs up all sorts of weird energy. Brenda Michaels, The Gift of Cancer. I want you to look up that book, Phaedra. Brenda Michaels, The Gift of Cancer. That book has not even come to me in my mind in 5 or 10 years. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 times that she went through cancer before it was gone. I want you, there are all sorts of light techniques, energy techniques, beams of light. I would love you playing with light, bringing light to your cancer, illuminating your cancer with light. But I would like you befriending cancer, loving cancer, talking with cancer, making friends with your cancer, asking your cancer why she is here, and then asking your cancer if she may now go. But there is a reason that cancer has come to visit both of you. And so rather than just the battle of cancer, we want to bring cancer in and understand metaphysically why she is here to visit us at this time and what we can learn from her. And then you beam her with love and light. And then you use this whole plethora of techniques. Heck, you can certainly go into automatic writing and talk with your cancer, quite literally. And then use every energetic technique. And I'm not a one technique kind of guy when it comes to cancer. I am a kitchen sink kind of guy to see if she can leave. Now, it's not all up to us. It is up to kind of our path that in many ways, not always, was set before we were born. But there is so much we can do before it is just in the hands of spirit. I guess everything's in the hands of spirit. But I want you first and foremost to make friends and learn from your cancer, crazy as that may seem. And then, Phaedra, please do report back to me, and sending so much love your way. Go. Is it true that gargoyles are living things created by Archangel Michael to protect humanity? And what do you generally think of them? I know nothing about gargoyles, Gogo, but it sounds plausible. And I kind of love that idea. So I think that sounds really, 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 really cool to me, Gogo. Would I believe that? Certainly. Do I have any idea? No. I'd like to learn more. Linda Straub, what are your thoughts on tarot card readers? Some are great, some not as great. They still have to, so you flip over the cards, and the cards have messages coming from spirit. There's no doubt about it. But the question is, who is the interpreter, and what is their level of interpretation without their own filter getting involved? That's where the challenge comes in, Linda. But the cards will be the cards, having usually little to do. Okay, I'm hearing that the energy of the person who pulls the cards can still be involved. But the biggest thing is, what is their interpretation going to be like? With that said, would I still go to tarot card readers? If it's fun, yeah. Would I trust their answer with my life? I'd probably pull my own cards first. Oceana Healer. I have doctor appointments coming up and chemotype treatments for my autoimmune. How can I prepare myself psychologically? And how can I ask spirit to help me before going in? Well, Oceana Healing. You can certainly learn automatic writing. I can't recommend that enough. All I'm hearing, Oceana Healing, is to love yourself up. Books are just popping into my consciousness tonight. Kamal Ravikant, love yourself like your life depends on it. I want you to go read that book, Oceana Healing. Love yourself like your life depends on it. And that's your homework assignment. Your homework assignment, Oceana Healer, is simply to love yourself up. You come in and you get the diagnosis. You love yourself up. You come in and you get negative news. You love yourself up. You come in and you get positive news. You love yourself up. No matter what it is, you love yourself up. That transcends this lifetime. That's what's most important, is how much can we heal our hearts at this time. And the outer world would make us believe that that's not important. And the doctors would be like, well, you can love yourself up all you want, but you've got to get real about this. There's nothing more real than loving yourself up. And when you love yourself up, you often realize what's true and what's not. There's no doc on this planet that knows your body. There's no doc on this planet that knows your body. If they know your body, then ask them to explain the placebo effect. They can't. Only you can possibly know your body. It's your energy. It's your vehicle. So what do we want to do? Put in premium fuel in the vehicle right now and believe nothing other than the best. Love yourself up. And then no matter what the doc says, and this doesn't mean we don't be prudent, it doesn't mean we don't take action. For instance, Deepak once said, if you've got cancer, do all the alternative techniques you want after you have the tumor removed. That's basically it. Love yourself up, be prudent, but don't take whatever negative answer you may get, if that comes, as the be-all end-all, because it ain't so. All right, next question, and sending so much love your way. Charity McDuffie. The presence, that's interesting. The presence all around me is so strong that it pulls my body in toward it like a magnet. The presence all around me is so strong that it pulls my body towards it like a magnet. Is this common? What do I need to do? It scares me a little. That it pulls my body in towards a magnet. I want to know more about this presence. I want you writing to this presence. I want to learning from this presence, asking who this presence is, what this presence is. I would do it in, I would say, a prayer fair first, which I call G-Spy, which is loosely prayed to God, source, universe, make it to whatever. But I want you surrounding yourself in a bubble of love and light, and then asking, what is this presence? And the prayer goes like this. Thank you, God, for guiding me with your love and light. Thank you, God, for surrounding me with your love and light. And if you don't catch this, you can just replay it a few seconds. Thank you, God, for guiding me with your love and light, surrounding me with your love and light, protecting me with your love and light, imbuing me with your love and light. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And I don't believe in a bearded white guy up in the sky. I believe in this energy, this source, this universe. But you surround yourself in this bubble. And then I want you to ask about what is this presence. It's something that's very easy to do in automatic writing. It's a little bit more challenging other times. But I'd like you to learn what is pulling you in and why. Jennifer Seward, what's the best method to ask for clarification from spirit after a dream visitation with an important message? For me, and this is kind of like asking a carpenter what's their favorite tool. Automatic writing is what I would do after any sort of dream. Go to automatic writing and ask your angels, ask your spirits, ask your guides, what does this visitation mean? And have them tell you. And I do this almost on a daily basis. Whenever I remember my dream, I put it down and I ask for a dream interpretation through my automatic writing. How else can you do it? Ask the universe to provide you throughout the day. Please give me clarity, leave it alone, and see what pops up in your consciousness. It's harder to hear, but your angels, guides, and whomever on the other side will communicate with you through that method as well. Couple last questions, and then I definitely encourage you to go to our meditation channel, and hopefully Aya can get the link there and give you that, because we have a beautiful meditation this week, and I will leave you with that on discovering your true self, on finding that deep state of peace within you. Autumn Grace, does the book teach instruct how to automatic writing? Examples. Autumn, you've got two choices. Our book on Amazon absolutely teaches you how to do automatic writing. 2, the course on Thursday, and you actually get with it a whole video-based program, and you get monthly classes as well. But in one evening with me, I will teach you how to do automatic writing. So much, much faster than the book. Both of them work great. There's nothing that I wouldn't teach you in the book that I teach you in the program, that I teach you in the program that I wouldn't teach you in the book. One is just a lot faster and easier and richer of an experience where you can ask your question live. The other works great as well. Do it either way, whatever works best for you. Aldi, what's the best or practical method in your experience to ground yourself beside meditations? Nature, 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 nature. Well, actually, breath first, Fialdi. We don't have to call it meditation. We can simply think of a baby, Fialdi. A baby always breathes through her or his nose if they want milk. So the simplest way to ground is breathe in through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. That's the next easiest way in a traditional meditation, just breathing in and out through the nose. Other than that, sit on the earth, watch a sunset, a sunrise, stare at the horizon, stare at the water, hug a tree. If the ground's not too cold, go barefoot. Nature helps ground you. It's not quite as effective, but it's a powerful tool. A grounding mat. This is from earthing.com, where the whole grounding movement started with my dear friend Clint Ober. Get yourself grounded where you sit. That can help calm you throughout the entire day. But nature, nature, nature is so important. Let's take one last question here, and then I might do a 2-minute meditation. Oh, Mary Fryer, would it help to have a one-on-one coach at this time of heavy energy? Yeah. Yes, 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 Mary. Absolutely, 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 absolutely. It's something I've been even looking into, and I've coached for over 30 years. It always helps to have a coach, because it helps to have somebody outside of your own perspective, Mary. And so that can be incredibly, incredibly valuable for you. And I cannot state that enough. Having somebody that is not you, but who can see things. And that's where automatic writing comes in. But sometimes we still need more of somebody physically on this plane to look at our lives and go, do you know what you're doing here? Do you have any idea? And be able to give you a great perspective. I know my philosophy on coaching is to help somebody to be able to hear from their own inner wisdom, because what you want, Mary, is you want a coach who helps you learn more from you rather than gives you their guidance, because their guidance is from their unique perspective. But if I or somebody else, for instance, can give you guidance coming from the inside of you, that's the most powerful coaching at all. We just get to be reflectors or mirrors to help you see from a different vantage point what is going on. Kathleen, my skill is not channeling others for people. However, my mom, 86, passed away this morning, 2.5 hours ago. I feel sad but strong because of my faith. Is there anything I need to know from her? Love her so much. Kathleen, I want you to reach out to her. I want you to speak to her, talk to her, write to her. Imagine that she's still by your side, because she is. That's what we don't understand. There is no separation. The veil is getting thinner and thinner. There is no separation between nowhere and now here. It's all the same place. So your mom is with you every moment. It's simply reestablishing the connection. Now, I'm not trying to say you got to go do automatic writing. Far from it. It is one of the things I teach in automatic writing. But just start to make that connection now by talking with her, Kathleen. And that oftentimes early in the healing process is the hardest thing to do, although sometimes it can be the greatest thing for the healing process. It's why I raced, did not stop to go write Miracle on the other side, because I knew she was there and that connection was waiting for me. So that's where I'd like you to play, Kathleen, and send all my love your way. All right, let's just do a 2-minute micro meditation together. And then definitely come join us for automatic writing this Thursday. Definitely come join us for the School of Mystics if you want to learn how to take your empathic skills to the next level. And I will also put the link down there for our meditation channel, where you can catch a much longer, they're about 10 minutes, much longer meditation this evening that can help you really plug into your deeper soul, into your deeper self. And Mary, feel free to reach out. I don't know what schedule, budgets, all of these things, if I may be able to help you, but and this is not anything but a shameless plug for me, because I do very, 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 very little coaching at this point, because I'm working mainly one-to-many. But if I can help you, great. Or if somebody else can help you, Mary, go for it with everything you've got. All right. So let's dive into just a really, really, really brief meditation here. So let's breathe in through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In through the nose, down to the belly, and out. Breathe in as you do. Imagine anchoring yourself deep into the earth, and let go. Breathe in. Imagine now, actually, as you're breathing in and out, so you breathe in and now you breathe out. I'd like you to imagine sitting in a forest, a perfectly still forest. There are some birds chirping in the background. Maybe you hear some frogs in the distance. But it's the most perfect, peaceful forest. As you continue to breathe in and out, you feel the joy of being a child. You feel the ease of having no burdens. And you feel the peace of needing to be nowhere and do no thing. For myself, I see myself sitting on this perfect log. There are actually toadstools coming out of the log all around, but I have this perfect, nice, dry spot. Maybe you see some flowers in the distance. Or a deer. Maybe 2 deer, a doe and a buck. Maybe some beautiful birds or even a Roo running through. You just breathe in and soak in this ionized, fresh forest air and breathe out. Breathe in the stillness and you exhale, feeling filled with such goodness. In peace, out ease. In peace, out ease. In such an incredible state of peace. And out such a wonderful state of ease. Feel free to stay in this forest. Sit by the toadstools. See the birds, see the deer. See the flowers. Hear the crickets. For as long as you would like. And when you're ready, come back. Enjoy a beautiful evening, a beautiful day. And with any blessings, I would love to teach you automatic writing this Thursday. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Love you guys so, so much. Have an amazing evening ahead and keep on shining bright. Lots of love, Mary. Lots of love, Aya and Ann and everyone. Love you guys so, 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 so much. Be well and keep on shining bright. Woohoo! Love you guys. Rue is toast. Love you guys.